Sinead, can you take us inside the locker room a little bit? Are the Pelicans now sort of Zion's team, and how does that dynamic inside a locker room even really work?
You know, this is a great question because it just sort of happens naturally. And this is absolutely no, disrespect to Brandon Ingram, who's having a stellar year, 24 points per game. You know, he's doing exactly what he needs to do. But the Pelicans, they are becoming Zion's team. And that's not a bad thing because Zion, we all know this, the league is sort of ready-made for Zion to take over. He's a special player. He can get you buckets without calling a play for him. At the age of 20, he might still be leading the league in points, paint points per game. And the reason why it's becoming, Zion's team, Rachel, is because, last year, as a rookie, with a lot of new pieces, you're probably going to defer more to the veterans, especially when BI is having an all-star year. And right now, the team is settling in, building their chemistry. They're finding out their nice little passing pockets for Zion with a nice flow. Also figuring out how to move off ball so Zion can go to work. This is the version of the Pelicans that shows progress. Even though it is becoming Zion's team, that's not a knock on Brandon Ingram. It actually is showing that they're headed in the right direction because now they have two very talented players that can compete every night.
First of all, let's get it straight. The Pelicans are the king cake babies team. And
there we go. There we go, Zach Lowe.
Yes. Zion's, the way I would put it is it's Zion's offense. And I think that's appropriate for the Pelicans. I think it slots everybody into their appropriate role so that no one is overtaxed. No one's trying to do stuff that's even 2% outside their skill set. Joe Boylan, who was an assistant for the Pelicans, he once told me that he would tell Brandon Ingram, we can contend for championships here when you become our Scottie Pippen. And that's not to compare Brandon Ingram to an all-time great player. It's to say when you don't have to be the number one option on offense, when that big fella can be, and you can concentrate on getting us 27 assists, play all NBA level defense, that's when we can be special. Look what it's done for Lonzo Ball. He doesn't have to worry about running the half-court offense. He can be a demon in transition. In the half-court, he can skulk around and hunt for threes, throw the extra pass. It puts everyone in the right spot. This is the version of the Pelicans that can be dangerous down the line.
I'm really looking forward to seeing them go through that second half schedule. Now, after the game, we did hear from Zion's coach, Stan Van Gundy, expressing some disappointment in how he is officiated, while Rudy Gobert, he had a different idea on the situation. Take a listen here.
Someday he's going to start to get the calls he deserves to get. Any game where he's not shooting 10 free throws or more, I'm guaranteeing you they missed calls.
Obviously, the ones that when I go straight up and I get an elbow in the chest, there's not much I can do about that. They talk to us about all these rules and being vertical, and it's great. I've been trying to do it over the years, but when someone jumps elbow first, there's not much you can do. I mean, it looks good on the highlights, but it's still an offensive foul.
Now, Zach, coaches saying their stars don't get the calls is a tale as old as time. But do you agree in this case? Which side are you on?
Hey, look, Zion's shooting 8 free throws a game. We're a little early in Zion's career for the refs aren't giving him enough respect kind of takes. And look, Rudy Gobert is he's right. Zion jumps into you, you fall backwards, Zion just keeps going up. But this is in the tradition of Shaq, Blake Griffin, and now Zion, these physical freaks that are hard to officiate. There's so much contact, they're so physical, it's hard to know what to do. I think 8 free throws, they should be happy with that. He's shooting 71% at the line. They should be really happy that that's going in the right direction. It's a little early for this kind of stuff, to be honest.
Yeah, and for 8 free throws, rookie plus, that's a lot of respect that the league and the referees are already giving to you. Usually it's vets that sort of command that type of free throw attempts. And by the way, Zach, I am 2 for 2, 100% from the field when it comes to getting the baby and king cake. So yeah, my percentage is pretty nice.
Woo, that is very impressive. If you don't know how the king cake baby works at Mardi Gras time in New Orleans, I could not urge you more to go look that up on the internet. But when you go all the way to King Cake Baby Pelicans in the search bar, just be prepared because it might be a little frightening. Let's move on to James Harden. He's posting, King Cake Baby is your friend and mine, but I'm just saying. Harden posting an incredible 30 points, 15 assists, 14 rebounds to go along with, wait for it, 0 turnovers last night. No player has done that since turnovers started to be recorded in the 78 season. So here is Harden and Kyrie on their matchup tomorrow.
Seen it all, been through it all, experienced it all. There's not anything that we can't power through. That's the glory of God right there. We're excited to play basketball, go back to where James had a great career. We're looking forward to the experience, looking forward to having fun. It's going to be high competitive, a lot of great players, no animosity on the court, just greatness on display. Everybody at home, enjoy the game.
My plan is to touch as many people as I can in the sense of whether it's food, whether it's water, whether it's rebuilding their homes, whether it's making them smile, whether it's whatever the case may be, just trying to touch thousands of people in that city because they've done that for me and they showed me and my family that much love.
Janae, Harden there referring to, he really stepped up in the wake of the storms down in Houston. Even though he wasn't playing there anymore, he really, really made sure that people in that area, as he says, felt that he was there for them, provided all kinds of food and resources for people. And in his return, as Kyrie says, you can expect a show. What do you think is going to happen, my Houston friend?
All right, I always go through the lens of the Houston Rockets, as you mentioned, and I'm someone that probably believes in them even when a lot of people choose not to. But I'm going to keep it real here. I have every expectation that the Brooklyn Nets are going to win in James Harden's return. Because we all know that the Rockets, they're in the middle of a rebuild. I was really excited to see, Christian Wood and Victor Oladipo sort of do their things this season, but health had different plans, and the Rockets situation really can't be saved by them. But on the other hand, as you asked, James Harden is playing impeccable basketball. Literally, no turnovers last night with a 30-point triple-double. And he's always had this skill set, which we saw in Houston, but he leaned more into the scoring than the playmaking. But now the roles have, reversed, and he sort of flipped that. And now he's just flaunting for everyone to see, rocking a Brooklyn Nets jersey. So even though Houston is looking at him probably like an ex that is living their best life after a breakup, which is really tough for Houston, there's still a lot of love there. There's a lot of mutual love there. And might as well pile it on. And I think what he has done, as you mentioned, Rachel, for the community has really just showed a testament to who he is. But let me just keep it real. Whether it was J.J. Watt spending 10 years there, now James Harden, 9 years, Houston is going through it. It's been a rough offseason for us.
Hey, look, the Rockets have lost 12 in a row. They're just sort of a random collection of players, which is what happens when you have one team that gets dismantled. Then you have a bunch of trades that aren't related to each other. So they're kind of in a tough spot. The Nets are killing everyone. James Harden had 1 million points, 1 million assists, and as many turnovers as I did watching the game in my office. So what was it? Was it Clubber Lang that said prediction pain? I predict pain for the Rockets and a Nets win, which is not exactly a bold take considering the directions these teams are going right now.
Well, I'm glad there's at least some fans that are going to be able to be there to sort of experience the James Harden show yet one more time, even if it's not in a Rockets jersey. And I think there'll be some nice moments there, which is nice after what happened kind of at the beginning of this season. We will be looking forward to it. On this show, you can look forward to a little Carmelo LaMelo action. They swapped jerseys after the game last night. Does either one of them own the nickname Melo? Can it be shared? How many Melos are too many Melos? We dive into these important questions. First, though, it's time for our distant replay. This date, 2004, Mr. Vince Carter.
Williams to Carter with a catch and shoot.